Hello, Watem here, and welcome back to some more Higurashi When They Cry. Sorry if this is going out a bit late. I've been inundated with classwork. Yay. And in any case, we're getting near the end, so let's see what this brings about. While Sadako was at school, I washed the dishes. Hanyu would usually stay with me when Sadako wasn't around, but she's not here right now. It's been a while since I was all by myself. I never thought anyone could feel so lonely while washing the dishes. I'm going to die today anyway. This world is ending today. Why should I wash these dishes? That's because I'm thinking about Sadako, who will have to move on with her life after tomorrow. About that, with the great disaster that's going to happen. Yes. Yes, she is totally going to be living after tomorrow. I will encounter a new Sadako in the next world. But I realized something after hearing what Sadako told me earlier. After I'm dead, I wonder how Sadako will move on with her life. The worlds that I've left in the past all went on without me. I wonder if Sadako will be able to cook without me. I wonder if she can go shopping on her own. I wonder if she can wash her clothes by herself. I've been avoiding thinking about this, but Sadako and my other friends must have been overcome by sadness. It's too late for me to think about this, but I started feeling like I want to cry. I'm feeling like this because I don't want to leave this world. This is the world I've always wanted. It's my hope that I can continue to live in this world beyond June 1983. After a long journey, I finally ended up in this world. Oops. But I was able to truly live in this ideal world for only one night. The night of Washinagashi. This world will be shattered again after I die tonight. We finally saved Sadako, and all our friends assume that our happy life has returned. However, I'm going to die tonight. They will mourn for me. We worked so hard to make a miracle happen, but they're going to lose their happy world in just one day. Am I going to start a new life in the next world, as if nothing happened? I'd lived 3 days in my new world, but 3 sad days were going to pass in this world. That's no good. I can't think straight anymore. I couldn't stop the tears from flowing from my eyes. I hugged Sadako's pillow and cried. I could smell her scent. After I die, Sadako will probably hug my pillow and cry just like this. Is everyone else going to cry for me too? I'm sure they will. And they'll be sad. Not about my death. They'll be sad, not because I'm dead, but because I never told them about what was troubling me so much. I think they'll also be sad because you're dead. I wonder if they're going to feel regret. Will they wonder what they could have done to open up my heart? What they could have done to help me in my time of trouble? Times of trouble. Will they wonder what they could have done to save me? I felt miserable and frustrated. I held Sadako's pillow and continued to cry. And the next moment, I heard the phone ringing. I tried to ignore it, but it wouldn't stop ringing. I picked up the phone, hoping that my friends would call to check on me. However, I heard a weird guy's voice coming from the receiver.
どうも、お世話になっておりますんで。おこのぎ造園と申しますが、古出さんのお宅でいらっしゃいますか?
So I'm guessing this is the confirmation that the gardeners were in fact the mountain dogs.
おこのぎ
It was Okonogi from the mountain dogs. was the first time I'd received a phone call from him.
緊急のご連絡がしたくってお電話させてもらいました。
I'm just thinking, has she just made it more convenient for them to just kill her because no one's around, compared to if she was at school?
学校にお電話したら今日は休んだと言われましたもので。
Yes, because it would be totally normal for gardeners to call the school to ask about Rika? Oh well.
具合は大丈夫ですかいね。
I'm not alright. This is the day I die. I knew he had no idea, but I still couldn't help but feel upset.
風邪なのです。ちょっと今日はゆっくりしていますです。
そうですか。偶然とはいえ、それは好都合だったですね。
え
I had no idea what made him say that he was glad I was sick. Yeah, that's just slightly odd.
どうして僕が風邪をひくと、おこのぎの好都合になるのですか？
It means he has a perfect opportunity to kill you.
いえ、実はあなたの命が狙われている可能性があるっちゅう連絡が入ってきたんです。
In other words, you.
それはどういうことなのですか？
この度の富武氏たちの事件なんですが、東京の調査の結果、入江所長が黒幕である可能性が高いっちゅう連絡が入ってきました。
Yeah, I'm surprised that there hasn't been a path where Rika has followed Tomitake to find out what happened. Or at least have Hanyu follow Tomitake to find out what happened. Which leads me to think that Hanyu knows, but isn't telling Rika.
入江が黒幕？
This is the first time I've heard something like this. This isn't something that happens at random. It's the very first time. That means it's not just a coincidence. I'm hearing this now because of something that I did differently in this world. I've done many things differently in this world, though. I can't tell which decision led me to this result. However, maybe this is something that could change my life drastically. Okanogi continued to explain to me. There had been budget cuts to their research, and they were scheduled to be shut down within a few years. Irie was strongly against that, because he was embezzling their research money by requesting bigger and bigger budgets. Because they were going to cancel their research, he tried to sell the research data and make a lot of money off it.
それは本当なのですか？
信じたくないでしょうが、事実ですね。まあ、入江所長はどこか後ろめたそうなところがありましたんよ。
Sure.
たらんな感じでした。
I think I can say with certainty that Irie is not that type of person. I've been around him for years, and as far as I know, he's not a bad guy. He doesn't even have the guts to be one. He pretends to be cold-hearted for the sake of his research, but he can't shake his regrets. He's simply a nice person. It's hard to believe that he was embezzling money from Tokyo. I'm starting to be suspicious of Takano, but she's actually a nice person too. She seemed mean at times, but she could also act as innocent as a child. Emphasis on the word act. However, I'm starting to suspect her because Oishi told me that the body they found in Gifu might not be Takano's body. Okanogi works for Takano. That means I can't trust Okanogi. In other words, I can trust Irie because Okanogi is clearly just trying to set him up. On the other hand, if Takano isn't guilty, I could be making a huge mistake. Yet, it always seemed to me as though Tomitake and Irie were good friends. If Tokyo had suspected that Irie was embezzling money from them, Tomitake would have treated him far more coldly. Anyway, at the very least, Tomitake of Tokyo didn't have such a bad impression of Irie. Irie of the Irie Institute and Tomitaki of Tokyo were good friends. Tomitaki of Tokyo and Takano of Tokyo were good friends. Takano of Tokyo and Okanogi of Tokyo were superior and subordinate. But Okanogi of Tokyo says that Tokyo is suspicious of Irie? This doesn't make sense. Everyone seems to be good friends at first glance, but the links don't connect from start to finish. Irie thinks he has a positive relationship with Tokyo, but Tokyo is suspicious of Irie? That's just odd. The chain should be connected, but one of the links is twisted out of order. It's breaking the loop.
すでに東京が内定に着手してますんで、詳しいことはもうちょい待ってほしいそうです。また、入江はあなたを何らかの交渉の最後の切り札に使おうとしている可能性があるらしく、あなたに対する警護体制を本日よりさらに強化せよとの命令が来ました。それでご自宅にいられるんは都合がいいと言ったんですね。
So they can tighten the net around you.
すでに古出神社の周辺は山犬が3交代、20人体制で警護に入らせていただきました。もちろんご安心ください。それっちゃわからないように気を利かせてますんで。
すごい警護体制なのです。その警護はいつまで続くのですか？
東京から解除の命令が来るまでずーっとですんで。今回の一件が解決するまでです。
That should have been good news for me, since today was the day I was supposed to die. This is exactly the kind of security I wanted. That's why I let Takano into the ritual storehouse. However, I have a bad feeling about this. Yeah, actually, since Takano was let into the ritual storehouse, what's the reasoning going to be for their deaths? What's the town going to say about it? Because before they had the whole thing where they snuck into the ritual storehouse. Oh, that's how they both died. But why this time? Because they didn't sneak in, presumably. Tokyo should be my ally. That arrangement is just like Kirya's relationship with Tokyo. Everything seems in order from my end. When you trace it the other way, it feels like something is off at some point. I have this uncomfortable feeling because I have a few uncertainties about Tokyo. Tokyo and Irie have strong ties. Are they suspicious of him? Is Irie actually a bad guy? Is Takano still alive? And is she the one who killed Tomitaki? Those questions and more made me uncertain about accepting help from Tokyo. I thought Tokyo, as a signal organization, would move with a single intention. But in reality, they have multiple different intentions. In other words, there must be multiple... what's the word? I see it in the political section of newspapers all the time. Right. Factions. Are there two factions in Tokyo? One that wants to remain friendly with Irie, and one that looks down on him? That would explain the irregularities I'm sensing. Maybe I've been talking to Oishi too much? If he hadn't told me that he was suspicious of Takano, would I have believed Okanogi without a doubt? Well, maybe not. Even without Oishi's theory, Okanogi still sounded very suspicious. Irie was loyal to his research on Hinmazawa syndrome. Tokyo understood this, so his relationship with Tomitaki wasn't particularly strained. Plus, Irie isn't the type of person who would commit embezzlement. He's a law-abiding citizen with a good moral character. Of course, he has some ambition as a researcher, and that only goes as far as common sense expects any researcher to. It's nothing like the criminal aspirations that would lead to major embezzlement. A great number of mountain dogs were going to be guarding me. This is what I'd been wanting in my previous lives. But, for some reason, I couldn't be happy about it. I couldn't help but feel depressed. If this house is like an empty birdcage, then there'd be the fox with feathers stuck to its face. I don't know if I can really trust people who are protecting me. I tried to recall more about Takano. The mountain dogs have been protecting me for years. Takano proved his skills in many of my other lives. To them, I'm something of a special existence. If something happens to me, it would be a disaster. The Irie Institute is there to keep Hinamazawa syndrome under control, and the mountain dogs are there to protect me from evildoers. So why would they betray me now? Or try to betray me now? I've thought about it for a while, but I had no idea. I just know one thing for sure. I can't feel comfortable with the protection of the mountain dogs alone. I want someone other than Tokyo protecting me. But I bet such a person wouldn't believe me. Akasaka! And maybe Oishi. Wait. What about Oishi? I've been keeping in touch with Oishi since the other day. He still thinks that the mysterious deaths in Hinamazawa are all plotted by the village authorities. If he believes that, then he might believe that my life is in danger. For him, I'm a special person with lots of useful information. The mountain dogs hate the police, though. Maybe there's a reason why. When I asked them to assassinate Satoko's uncle, they refused because he was being watched by the police. I'd feel relieved if the police were guarding me along with the mountain dogs. That way, the dogs wouldn't be able to harm me, even if they were working for an evil faction of Tokyo. Besides that, if my suspicions towards them turned out to be baseless, more protection couldn't hurt. I'm sure that double security will keep me safe.
わかりましたです。今日はおとなしくしていますです。
ええ、そうなさってくださるとうちらも助かりますんで。町へ繰り出して変なチンピラに喧嘩でも売られるとうちらも苦労しますん。
根に持たれているのです。
では、そういうことです。風、お大事になさってください。
風邪の診察に診療所に行ってはいけませんですか？
万が一ということがありますんで、妙な注射でも打たれやすと大変ですかいね。
入江はそんなことしないです。
しないとうちらも思いたいですがね。その疑いが解けるまでちょいとしばらく慎重にしてほしいっちゅうこってん、安城ご理解をいただきたいんですわ。
すったらんしゃもないのです。
It was a bit of a surprise change.
おこのぎもいつの間にかすっかり地元言葉になりましたです。
最初は普通の東京なまりだったです。直せと言われれば直せるつもりですがね。地域に溶け込むのが仕事ですから。
I finished speaking with him. As soon as I hung up the phone, I opened the phone book and looked for a number to the Okonomiya Police Department. I was reading way too quickly for me to speak. It was nearly noon. It felt like the pages of the phone book were sticking to my skin. I must have been in a hurry. I really don't want to die. I want to stay in this world. I don't want to leave this perfect world. I'm trying to do something, because I don't want to die. I'm trying to live with all my might. I'm trying to enjoy my life. For the first time, I was spending my last day positively, without drinking wine until I was drunk.
もしもし、大石です。お待たせしてすみませんでしたね。ちょいと今からお隣の県警に行ってこようとしてたところでした。どうもあちらさん話が通らないんで、直に襟首を掴んでゆすってやろうと思いましてね。
県警、高野の死体のことですか？
ねえ、周りは勝手に納得して高野の死体に間違いないって繰り返すんですが、私それで直接行って見てこようと思います。死体が高野でないと分かれば話は一気に急展開しますからね。
So now you have the real dilemma. Do you let him go and risk death in order to gain more information? Or do you lose that information in the hopes of having a better chance of survival?
高野を重要参考人として手配できます。幸い向こうの柔道部とは交流がありますので、お隣の県警さんにも味方は大勢います。ちょいとみっちり話し込んできますよ。
It looked like Oishi was proactively moving forward with the investigation. If that body is really... You've got two options. If that body is really Takano, or if that body really is Takano. You can't put both is's in there. That would be sad for her. Oh no, how sad and tragic. You died. Oh well. But it would give me reason to trust the mountain dogs. If that's not Takano, then it would tell me that she's part of this whole incident. No matter what the result is, it will give me some kind of hint. But only if I'm still alive. But really, it's unfortunate. Oishi is leaving for Gifu. Can't be around to protect me.
大石、実は変な声の電話があったのです。知らない人でしたが、村人だと名乗りましたです。
匿名の電話ですか。続けてください。その電話は何と？
僕を殺そうとしている人たちがいるというのです。早ければ今日にも決行すると言ってますです。
それは本当ですか。なるほど。それはありえない話じゃないな。わかりました。私はもう出発しなければなりませんので行けませんが、警官を何人か行かせます。
僕を殺そうとしている人たちがいるというのです。早ければ今日にも決行すると言ってますです。
駐在にも連絡してあなたの近辺を警戒するように伝えましょう。今日はご自宅ですよね。それは本当ですか。なるほど。それはありえない話じゃないな。わかりました。私はもう出発しなければなりませんので行けませんが、警官を何人か行かせます。駐在にも連絡してあなたの近辺を警戒するように伝えましょう。今日はご自宅ですよね。
So yeah, I guess that's one way to have the police protect us still.
風邪か何かですか？家にいて戸締まりをしっかりしてください。すぐに警官を行かせます。
おいさん、どうしたんすか？先方との約束の時間ギリギリですよ。
今ね、フルでリカから電話がありました。
That cut off suddenly.
匿名の電話があり、 彼女の命を誰かが狙っているらしいと警告してきたらしいって言うんです。
フルでリカオですか？どうして？村のマスコットじゃなかったんですか？
連続開始事件絡みで私と接触してたことに対する警告じゃないかと見てます。
I mean, it was always a plan, but however you interpret it to best suit her needs, whatever.
本当に殺すかどうかは疑わしいが、彼女も年頃の子供です。命を狙われていると聞かされたら穏やかにはいられないでしょう。それにここで信頼を損ねると以後の関係にも支障をきたしますからね。2、3人でいいです。大至急行かせてください。あと駐在さんにも連絡して、とりあえず彼女を安心させてあげてください。
A local officer? What?
了解っす。
Mikafurude might have some kind of hint regarding the mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa. Or she couldn't let her die.
私たちも現地の分からずやどもを締め落としたらすぐにひなみ座へ行きましょう。ちょいとハードな出張スケジュールになりましたよ。
こんなの楽勝っす。
Don't you Agasaka for not being there when you needed?
こちらひばり。駐在警官が境内に入りました。R宅へ向かっています。
了解。引き続き監視されたし。
R と接触。警官を中に入れました。沖宮署に R から連絡があったようです。自身の身辺警護を依頼したと思われます。
Throwing a wrench in her works?
うちらのことは喋ったんかいね。
Spanner in her works?
命を狙われているとの匿名電話があったと言っています。
So we've got a contact with him, the police.
作り話でしょう。また、それとは別に沖宮署から私服警官が数人派遣されるようです。
何年？山犬だけじゃ信用できんって国会ね。
厄介ですね。監視体制にも支障が出ます。
まさか気づいたんじゃねえんかね。そんなわけはないとは思うが、全般に職質に注意しろと伝達。疑われたら意味ないんね。暗情警戒しろっちゅう伝えてえな。
Them being the police?
了解。本部より全般、古出神社周辺に警察介入の動きあり、職質には特に注意されたし、今夜の決行ですが、様子を見た方がよろしいのでは。
連絡はするが、三差はやるっちゅう言うだろうな。明朝に R の死亡が発覚して話が進むよう、もうお膳立てが済んどるって話だ。警官に不審と思われとない。もし疑われたら、おとなしを引くこっちゃん。
Next stage? How are they going to kill her, I wonder? Because I know, like, they tear her guts out and everything, but the method of death is obscured by that in a way. Or she had called the officers pretty quickly. The officer who was in the area arrived within 10 minutes after I spoke with him. He asked me what kind of phone call I received today. I decided to make up a whole story. It will all be over if they check my call history, but I'm sure Ishi won't bother doing anything like that. I mean, you did get a call though, so that would show up in your call history. He thinks I'm worth protecting because I have information about the incidents in Hinamizawa. The policeman is one of the villagers, so I know him very well. More officers are coming here from the Yokonomiya department. The officer told me to relax because he'd stay with me until then. Oishi must have thought I was frightened half to death after getting a threatening phone call. After about 30 minutes, 4 officers in plainclothes arrived at the shrine. The local officer returned to his police box.
状況は聞いています。神社周辺に我々が立ちますので、何かあったらすぐに呼んでください。あと、夕方になったら大石刑事がこっちに来ると言っていました。
I was relieved to learn that Oishi would be coming here.
どうかよろしくお願いしますです。
必ず一人がここの下にいますので。すみませんが、そのものにお手洗いだけは貸してもらってもよろしいですか？あと、緊急時用にそのものに合鍵を預からせることはできますか？
So here's hoping one of them isn't a traitor. On that note, I'll end it here for today. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know any feedback you have in the comments. Until next time, see ya.